Hey, good evening, or is it good day? Good afternoon. Let's just say hello, everybody. It's absolutely lovely to welcome you here tonight, and we're blown away by how many people are here. I've never seen this many people join us in a public update, so it's absolutely amazing. Thank you for being here. We've got quite a lot to get through tonight, so don't worry if you need to leave at some point. We are recording, and so you can catch up and catch up anything you may miss. We've got so much to share that it's unlikely we'll have time for a live Q&A session. And we also want to make sure that we don't miss any pre-submitted questions from people unable to attend. So all who have registered will receive a follow-up email with a survey to allow us to gather your feedback and also give you an opportunity to ask your questions then. And we'll follow up on all of these in our next newsletter. So we'll also provide speaker contact details and organisation links in that follow-up email should you wish to get in touch with anybody. So let's have a quick look through the agenda. We're going to start off with the lovely Pam Gregory in 2 seconds, followed by a review of 2024 into the 2025 roadmap, and then we'll talk about call to action and how you can get involved. But without further ado, we are absolutely delighted to have Pam with us tonight. Pam's been a keen supporter of PHA since the very beginning. And then there was that interview 2 months in after we'd launched that really was the catalyst that saw us expand internationally, literally overnight. So Pam, it's an absolute honour to have you here as always, because I know how busy you are. And I'll hand over to you.
Fantastic. Thanks so much, Lisa. Yeah, delight to be here. And, we'll always support the PHA because it is just so perfect for our time. It really is. And I know I only have 5 minutes to speak, so it's going to be kind of over the jumps, as it were. A quick whiz through very much the astrological view of where we are and where we're headed. And so I'm going to be concentrating on the astrology purely. And I'm very much focused on Pluto moving into Aquarius fully last November until January 2044. So we have 19 years of Pluto in Aquarius. So I've done a big historical review of what that meant, and I've looked back to the 1200s, the 1500s, the late 1700s, because Pluto has a 248-year orbit. So it takes a long time before it comes back. It hasn't been in Aquarius since 1798, but repeatedly with those cycles, there was always a challenge to an abusive top-down power. And whether you go back to the church in the 1500s or autocratic monarchy in the 1700s, I mean, the biggest example, I think, is Louis XVI, who was living in a golden palace. And the peasants couldn't afford to buy bread in France. And so they stormed the Bastille in July 1789, took down the monarchy. The monarch was beheaded, and France became a republic from that time. That was the end of monarchy. And just a month later, the very first document that became the foundation of democracy was published in France and then became the foundation for democracy across Europe. So that's one very big example, but there is always, with Pluto in Aquarius, a shift of the power to the people from top-down structures, autocratic, abusive structures, back to the people. It doesn't happen in a day, a week, a month, and it's something that we have to stand up for very, very strongly. It often involves revolution on the streets. I think we're going to see a lot of that, particularly in Europe, to some extent in the UK, to some extent in America, but particularly in Europe, because there's going to be just rebellion against, we are done with hollow, empty, autocratic top-down structures. So this is the time. So it leads to decentralization, and it leads to a kind of a sort of mycelium, tree root connection with local people, local communities coming together and self-organizing. And that's exactly at the heart of the PHA. And so always Pluto in Aquarius will change the socioeconomic and political structure from being vertical to being more horizontal. So it's all about local community, all about people coming together, particularly people of like mind, you know, the family of frequency, and saying, okay, what can we do to create a better world? And because we've had a particular pummeling, I mean, all of the old systems are going to crumble right across the board: financial, legal, educational, absolutely medical. We know the shortcomings of the NHS and, you know, the terrible suffering that's happened in the last 4 or 5 years. And so the solution to that, if I'm looking at it purely astrologically, is organizations like the PHA, grassroots up, communities coming together to help each other. And I don't think there's anything else that I'm aware of at all internationally other than the PHA. And I know, you know, you're international now, we are international now. I haven't heard of any other self-organizing series of groups that are medical groups, health-based groups, that are doing this. So the PHA has a very unique role to play because the need is very great. And that's why I think you've grown so quickly, because the need is so great. And the need is not going to diminish anytime soon. We are very aware of the amount of sickness out there. We're still in winter time, and, you know, we have a lot more to come with the depleted immune systems that people sadly are suffering from. So PHA, we need you, and I'm just going to cheer you on from my astrological armchair. So that's all from me, from the astrological point of view. I hope that's helped give a bigger picture.
Wow, thank you, Pam. And I'm so relieved, because our theme for tonight is community. It always has been, but more so than ever. So I'm glad that we hit the nail on the head with you. Thank you so much for coming along. We really value, you know, any input you've got, any insights. We always do. But you're a very tough act to follow, let's face it. But I can guarantee that we have some amazing speakers coming up, all of whom are making a big difference in already creating change.
Fantastic. Thank you, everybody. Love to everyone. I've
Thank
got
you.
to now, I'm afraid. It's a busy, busy day, but love to you all. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. So before we meet our next speaker, I'd just like to take the opportunity to remind ourselves, for those who have been around for a while, and introduce ourselves that for the people who are new to PHA by asking, who are the People's Health Alliance? Well, the People's Health Alliance launched in April 2022 after a group of like-minded people came together as they saw a need for an alternative approach to health on the back of a failing NHS, as Pam pointed out. Our aim was, and still is, to educate and empower the people to take back responsibility for their health choices, supporting a return to power back to communities and allowing them to address the needs of those around them. The vision was simple, and still is, and after that interview with Pam, our PHA family grew rapidly. It was clear that our vision was shared by thousands around the world, and what began here in the UK became a global ambition of many. So tonight, you will hear a lot about community. So much has happened over the last 5 years, and it's clear now, more than ever, that if we're to hold on to our freedom, you know, freedom to travel, to protect our bodily autonomy, to be self-sufficient, and to live lawfully and responsibly, we can only do this together. We'll hear about our new community action campaign, which aims to create community groups in every village, town and city across the UK and eventually the world, supported by a practitioner directory, signposting people to local and affordable services. And we will hear about exciting partnerships and ambassadors that will help us continue to build new systems to create the world that we and future generations deserve, where we can thrive and live healthy, harmonious lives. So let's have a look at what we've been up to in 2024. Getting ahead of myself now. First of all, I'd like to introduce some community champions that are going to inspire everybody to get involved. And then we'll talk about a couple of the key projects that we've started in 2024. So tonight we hope to inspire you, the people, to come together in your community, to work collaboratively in addressing the needs of those around you. We're now going to hear from community champions who are already doing this and helping others to do the same. So I'd like to start by introducing the lovely Robyn Treen, and Robyn is based in Clitheroe, and her community hub is Hearts of Light Community Wellbeing. Welcome, Robyn.
Hello, everybody. Thanks, Lisa. Well, I first started with the PHA with doing the Wellbeing Wednesday on a Wednesday morning, which the group that Kerry set up, and we did some lovely. They had some lovely inspirational speakers on every Wednesday morning, encouraging people to do things for themselves, take care of themselves. So we had some movement, qigong, we had some movement with Kerry, and also some lots of good advice, health advice from other people as well. And then when that ended, I was inspired with a few other people from my group, that like-minded people that wanted to make a difference in the community. And what inspired me as well was Preston had a lovely wellbeing fair, if you remember that, Lisa. And
I certainly do.
Yeah, I got approached by a lovely man from Clitheroe, and he said, could we do something like that here? So that's when we found the Quaker House in Clitheroe. They offered to let us have the room for a donation. They thought it was brilliant what the PHA were doing, and they were inspired by it. So a group of us, on the first Friday of the month, we go to the Quaker House, and we have holistic therapists who offer treatments, taster treatments for a reduced price. We have meditation to open up at 11 o'clock in the morning, and qigong that anybody can join in. We have it seated, any abilities can join. But we also have coffee, tea, and we have people to talk to. There's local businesses that come in, and they make homemade candles and things like that, and second-hand books. There's always somebody that likes a good book. And then we have bigger events where we go to different towns. So we've been to Great Harwood in Lancashire, we've been to Clitheroe in the Ribble Valley, and our next port of call is Burnley at Gano Community Centre. So we're planning on doing a bigger event there. So if anybody wants to get involved, we'll let you know when that will be. Probably springtime when we get that organised. And we're going to be asking local businesses as well if they want to come along and show their products and sell their products, but also we'll be having the holistic therapies as well. Or you can just come in for a cuppa and a chat like we do at Clitheroe. So everybody's welcome. And if people want to get involved and volunteer, if you've got a good heart and a listening ear, you'll be most welcome.
Fabulous, Robyn. And we actually, Kerry and myself, I think Jane was with us. We actually went to Quaker House, didn't we, for our first anniversary? Do you remember?
You did, yeah. When we
and it's wonderful, amazing to see people coming together like that, and and just educating people in the community.
That's
about
right.
different modalities and therapies, and it was amazing. So thank you, Robyn. It's been fab to hear that. Next up with
Lisa D. Sorry, I was trying to get your attention. People have asked in the chat if we can remove the slides while speakers are talking, and I can't do that because it's your slideshow.
Oh, I'm not sure how to do that.
If you could click on share and just press stop share, just maybe when someone comes up and then they're not looking at the slideshow. I am watching the chat. I was just trying to get Lisa's attention at the right time.
Okay. So Matt, we've got Matt up now.
Hi.
Welcome, Matt. Tell us about positive living communities.
Gosh, where do I start? Well, we've been with PHA from the start, We've really encouraged them. We had an affiliation in August. Basically, what Positive Living Communities .org does is help people build hubs around the world, holistic community hubs. So in that, we're helping people coming out of suffering and into their own empowerment. Really, we're helping people with practical, physical tools, information, tips and tricks, and we're setting up lovely little sanctuary spots around the world with all these communities, so more people can join in and create that sacred living space. And part of that is also dealing with the psychology. So we're helping people come out of collectivism, that sort of herd mentality, and doing mind shifts, you know, helping people shift into that sort of more expanded consciousness space, with heart-led, and also, you know, thinking about the whole human system, and kind of coming up with new ways, or rather ancient ways, but with a new sort of spin on them, to have sort of holistic lifestyle, you know, really encouraging people to find their own sort of true calling. And we're using sort of principles like Ikigai and Maslow's hierarchy of needs to help people psychologically, so we can then sort of help them find their true calling and their sort of inner light, and then encourage them to come in with their skills and talents and experience and share that with the rest of the group. And we hold space for them, and they hold space for us. And there's these wonderful communities all springing up around the world. And yeah, we've just released a Hub Starter Kit from scratch for new members, and we've also released a Hub Starter Kit Part 2 for 6-month members as well. So it's sort of encouraging people from who don't know anything about this. If they want to get their community together where they are locally, we can work with you and help and assist you. And we do weekly calls, once a week for public and the other week after for members. So it's a real joy to, yeah, working with the PHA. We've got lots of hubs that we're helping around the world, and yeah, just encouraging you to bring out, you know, your own solutions, your own ideas, your own visions, and your own frequencies, and sort of to co-create that lovely new earth that's here already, you know. So yeah, I'm just getting on with the job. Well, it's not a job really, it's a joy. So, and just helping loads of people around the world and sharing that information on these calls. So yeah, a lot of cross-pollination. And in our hubs, basically a PLC hub is a community hub, a health hub, an enterprise hub, so we're encouraging people to find their own vocation, a lawful hub, so to help you resist sort of unlawful claims, and a resources hub, so that you can get lots of lovely data and information and things to help you where you are. And it's sort of it's not one size fits all, it's just loads of information, so follow your nose, and small information opens up bigger information wherever you want to go with that as well. So yeah, that's me in a nutshell.
Amazing.
And my group, my lovely group of people as well. It's not just me.
Thank you, Matt. It's brilliant. It's, I mean, it's just developing organically, isn't it? It's we're almost 3 years in, and you know, just have the hub starter packs is so helpful, because often people want to do this. I mean, we found that out, you know, when it expanded internationally, that everybody had this vision, but actually getting started is the hard part, isn't it? And it just takes one person. But having that help is amazing, and then learning from each other. So thank you for everything you're doing. It's amazing.
You're welcome.
Moving swiftly on to Reverend Dr. Warren Lee, and he's going to talk to us about community care associations. Great to have you here, Warren. Where are you? Let me see. Where are you? We found Warren. No. Shall we move on, and we'll see if Geo manages to track him down. I do know that Shirley's here, and Shirley is involved with the Conversation Starter Project, which is fantastic for getting people walking and talking. So over to you, Shirley. Tell us more.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for having me here this evening. It's great to be around so many inspirational people. Can I just do a quick shout out to Tess, Lawrie as well, because I have to say she was one of the people that kept me sane during COVID. So I just wanted to put a bit of love out to her. Yeah, so pre-COVID, I'm a mindfulness coach, meditation teacher, and I only got into that because I'd lost people close to me to cancer, including my dad. I ended up with what I would describe as real health anxiety. And so I decided that I wanted to empower myself so I could learn all the things that we can do for ourselves to make ourselves well. And so I ended up learning about healing and meditation, all sorts of wonderful things. And pre-COVID, I was doing wellbeing groups in the community. I was working in schools with kids and just doing all sorts of lovely stuff. And then obviously COVID hit and we couldn't do anything. Then in my locality, which is in Horsham, West Sussex, a local psychologist started up a walk and talk group for the very reason to try and get people out and socializing again, coming out of COVID, because obviously we're all living in fear. And this is one of the things that really bugged me, because I knew from my own history of health anxiety how damaging it was to be listening to this fear narrative all the time. And so when I saw that somebody else in the community was trying to do something, I wanted to get involved. I reached out to her and I just said, I really appreciate what you're doing. If you need any volunteers, I'll come along and volunteer. So she did her first walk in June of 2021. I turned up as well. We weren't sure if anybody else was going to turn up. We went to a local park and we just invited people to come along, totally free. You don't have to book on, nothing like that. So we got some people turn up. It was really great. I kept going because I could see how beneficial it was for my own well-being to do it. People kept turning up. Eventually, Tara asked if I'd like to partner up as well so that we could build the project. And yeah, so we'll have been going 4 years this year. We're totally grassroots. We do it all voluntarily. And we're building and building. So where we are at the moment, we're now registered as a CIC. We do 2 walks a week. They're free. People don't have to book on to come to them, which is really, really important. They're underpinned by a really good psychology framework. We work with other local agencies. So we have NHS social prescribers send people to us. We work with other local community groups as well. We have somebody from our local musculoskeletal service come along, a pain management practitioner who comes along. So we're really about trying to empower people over their own health and well-being. We do very gentle walks. We do the same route every week. People can turn up halfway round a walk. So there's lots of unique things about our walks, because there are loads of wellbeing walks out there. But this is really encouraging people to combat loneliness and isolation, because we know how damaging that is for sort of physical and emotional well-being. So we're partnering up with other community organisations. I really love what the People's Health Alliance have been doing. I've been following you for a really long time, all the way through COVID and stuff like that. So I'm really passionate about empowering people over their own health and well-being. We are now getting to the stage where we're combining psychology and mindfulness together. And what we're doing is we're starting to go into businesses to do well-being training within businesses, so preventative empowerment well-being training rather than crisis-led mental health first aid. And we're doing all sorts of trainings. So we want to get businesses involved so that the profits that we make from those trainings can then go back into doing more stuff in the community, because we always want the stuff that we do for the public to be free. And we'd like to have more things that we can offer, and we want to grow that. So we want to kind of do the stuff where the businesses pay for the training and then put the profits back into the community. But we're also looking to roll this model out as well. So what we're doing at the moment is we're getting walk and talk packs together based on our experience of having done this for nearly 4 years. All the procedures that we've put in place, all the policies that we've put in place. We have a wonderful safeguarding lead who used to work for Surrey Police, and he does all our safeguarding for us. So we have a really robust framework, and we want to put all this knowledge together in a handbook and some packs, and we're going to start rolling those out because we'd like other people to do that. And then the income that we make from that, again, will go back to our project to enable us to help grow the project. We will be looking to trial these these packs out and give people discounts if they want to get in and get the packs. We haven't got them finished yet. There's just so much for us to do because we do this voluntarily, and it's just, there's a lot for us to do. So it's being done, but we've got legal stuff to go through and we've got other things to go through. So they are in the process of being put together. And, you know, we'll be offering discounts to people if they want to try them out and give us feedback when we start rolling them out. So if anybody listening today or anyone from the PHA, or if we can get involved with any of you guys at all, and you want to contact us through our website, which is conversationstarterproject.org.uk, we'll get back to you once they're done, and we can chat to anyone that maybe thinks they might want to set up one of these themselves, because it sounds very simple, but there's a big process behind it, and there's a framework underpinning it and all sorts of other things. So yeah, so if anybody's interested, reach out. But that's the kind of stuff we're doing in the community, and I think the more people that we can bring in and all work together is amazing, because it's all about empowerment, and we have literally had people tell us that we've saved their lives. So when you have somebody say something like that, it's just, it makes everything worthwhile. And we're also doing work with our local council as well to support the volunteers in our community as well. So we're supporting volunteer wellbeing. So we're sort of connecting with as many people as possible. Tara this evening is out at some community meeting in Horsham, networking with other community organisations. And I think this is really, you know, how we do it. We get out there and we start connecting with other people. So that's it.
Absolutely. Thank you, Shirley. And I'd like to thank Shirley as well, because she is a great support to PHA. She's just done a podcast for us only on Monday, but I think it's on the website now, and it's all about these walks and talks, so you can learn more there. We are sharing contact details for our speakers and details of their organisations in the follow-up email, so you'll be able to get in touch with Shirley. But Shirley also has been leading the ladies' mental wellbeing team, and she recently did a mindfulness webinar for the new
we did
achieving our 2025 goals using
anyone wants to do a bit of mindful manifesting
hacks.
I just saw somebody ask whether in the chat whether we get our funding through our own endeavours or grants. We've had a couple of grants. To be honest with you, grants are a bit of a nightmare for us because there's only 2 of us running this, and so it's a lot of work. So we're trying to do it so that we can sort of provide services and then get the funding that way, because that's just going to be easier and less work for us. And that's why we chose to be a CIC rather than a charity. But we have had a couple of local grants from our council who've been really supportive to us. And yeah, we are open to grants, but it's just the grant application thing. If you're not from that world, it is very confusing.
Okay, thank you, Shirley. It's great to see you. Have we managed to find Warren? Anybody? Oh, okay.
Can't seem to track him. I've messaged him as well. Unless Warren, if you're out there, comment in the chats and we'll grab you.
Yeah, we'll move on to Vikki. Vikki from PFFA, the People's Food and Farming Alliance. Great to have you here, Vikki. Tell us what you've been up to. We lost Vikki as well.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Excellent, fantastic. Thanks ever so much for having me along. Hello, everyone. It's great to be here and to see so many people who are looking to create change and to build more community. That's what we're all about here at the People's Food and Farming Alliance. And at the PFFA, we look at all aspects of food and farming and how we can create change and build a brighter future for everyone. It's a really exciting time for us at the minute. We've had, for the last 6 months, we've been going through huge change, very exciting change. And in fact, so going back to community interest companies, CICs, Sam, Zoe and we are now the 3 directors of the PFFA CIC. And so I can totally relate to Shirley that applying for funding if you don't know what you're doing, it's quite the challenge. But we literally 2 weeks ago submitted our first funding application. So now we just have to cross our fingers and wait and hope that it all comes through, because our emphasis is very much on teaching more people about nutritious food and how to grow it for themselves. We want, as a nutritional therapist myself, I very much understand the importance of having access to good food for improving our health and well-being. And over the last 4 or 5 years, that's something that many of us really need to be paying extra attention to. So our vision at the PFFA is to reach as many people as possible, so that we can educate and empower them toward food independence and having their own food security and food sovereignty. And we do that in several different ways. We have memberships where we educate individuals, our supporters, on growing their own food. We help to build food networks and food growing communities. And we do that with the assistance of some of our supporters around the country who come on board the PFFA as regional ambassadors. And then they focus on their area to help to build those connections. And they also, alongside us, help to support local producers, again, to increase and strengthen food sovereignty. So some of the things that we've got lined up at the minute, we already run several memberships that our supporters can join, and that covers all aspects of foods, plants, and what we can grow. So for instance, one of those is our Grow, Cook and Thrive membership. And what that does is, once you've grown food or just bought it from a farmer's market or something like that, then we have our expert in, and she helps us, she shows us how to preserve it, water bathe it or canning it, depending on which terminology you use, pickle it, things like that. Like, for instance, next week we're going to learn all about how to make jams, jellies and chutneys, things like that. So each month we have a different focus. And then we've also got our herbalism pharmacy, run by an amazing herbalist who knows everything there is. And she's basically showing us how to build our own home apothecary, our own home first aid kit. And so we've done things about detoxing, gut health, menopause, which is my particular area of expertise as a nutritional therapist. So that was one of my favorite sessions. And she talks about all kinds of things. So each month we focus on something different. And then last night we actually launched our brand new Together We Grow at Home membership. This is a month-by-month online project offering step-by-step guidance on growing your own food at home. We realized that there's a lot of people really wanting to get into that arena, but just not knowing how to do it, or being a bit scared or lacking confidence. So this is actually aimed completely at beginners who want to start their food growing journey and who want to gain confidence, and we're here to help them. Sam, one of my fellow directors, she is an absolute expert. She literally grows food 7 days a week. Her day job, Monday to Friday, is working on a community farm, and then she also has a weekend job where she set up her own community growing. So she's like our expert who knows so much, and she's very able to break it down to be really simple for people. And it's very much about putting the emphasis on learning, trying new things, enjoying it. We're all there to help and support each other, to share our resources and our experiences, and to inspire each other as we come together as an online community and learning how to do all these things and grow more food. So and then today we've literally just launched our brand new website, completely updated, and we've given it a complete overhaul so it much better reflects the vision that Zoe, Sam and myself have for the PFFA moving forward. It's much more user-friendly and a stronger platform that allows us to share resources and build that community that we are so keen to build. And then one more thing is that we've got this is what we've applied for funding for. So hopefully in April, when our funding comes through, this is a community growing project. And again, this is aiming to bring people together to grow food in community. We're very, very excited about this, and we will have a lot more details coming soon. But basically, it's to marry up people who've got land, people who've got skills, people who've got time, people who just want to learn to grow. And we want to bring all of that together so that we can create these community efforts and get more people helping each other and more people benefiting from eating good food and working together and building community. Because we know that building community, when you build community and confidence, you empower people to take control of their food. And as people become more sovereign in growing their food, then they'll gain confidence in other areas of their life too. They can become less reliant on the supermarket. When people grow their own food, they will spend less at the supermarket. They know exactly what's in their food. There's no chemicals, no pesticides, only what they've given that food, which is generally a lot of love and time. All of that has a very positive effect on people's mental and physical health. We all know that just getting our hands in the dirt is very, very grounding. It can reduce our stress, improve our mental well-being, and enhance our gut microbiome. And generally being out in nature is very, very beneficial to our overall health. And being in community, especially after the last few years, is also very beneficial to our health. So if any of you want to get involved with us, we would absolutely love to have you join us on any of those projects, be it joining one of our memberships or becoming a regional ambassador to help build community in your area. So any of that, you can find it all on our fantastic new website. Everything is there, quite self-explanatory, and you can get the information. Our website address is www.the-pffa.org, and I'm sure that it would be put into the chat. And we would love to have you spread the word and encourage your friends to come join us, or you come join us. So we would just love to see you and build more community. Thank you very much. Sorry, I hope that wasn't too fast. I do speak fast.
It was amazing. Thank you so much, Vikki. And people will be able to watch this on the recording, of course, but
Slow me down.
It's amazing. No, it's great because I started growing about 3 years ago, and I wish I'd had a group that I could have learnt from, but you know, I got there. But I might even still join your membership for that because yeah, there's lots to learn, lots and lots to learn. But it's so good for you, like you say. I love it. And I escaped to my greenhouse. Yeah. It's my little shed, garden shed, my man shed, if you like, my woman shed. So yeah, great, brilliant. Thanks for that update. I'm not going to bother with the slides. Everybody, you know, there's not an awful lot on the slides anyway. The next part was really just to talk about a couple of the projects that we have been doing in 2024, that we started in 24. And one of the key projects during 24 was the Mental Wellbeing Project. Mental illness affects an estimated 970 million people worldwide, and 1 in 4 will be affected by mental challenges at some point in their lives. You know, so this is the real pandemic, and it's one that we can no longer ignore, you know, just hoping that somebody else will address it. So we're really grateful to those that have volunteered to be part of the project team, and we welcome you to get involved if it resonates with you. So the PHA mental wellbeing team recognises that the current system can't support the growing demand. And so we've been busy building a directory of affordable local services in the UK and a library of resources offering preventative and holistic approach, a preventative and holistic approach to mental wellbeing services. We've also launched our very own podcast, Powered by the People, and have created a mental wellbeing series of interviews featuring real life stories from people who've faced mental challenges and how they've overcome them in the hope of inspiring others who are struggling. As the name of the podcast suggests, this is a platform for all of us. So if you'd like to be a host or a guest, please get in touch and we'd love to hear from you. And as is the case with everything we do, collaboration is key. And we've been busy connecting with individuals and organisations who are already providing lifelines to those struggling. One such collaboration is with Free Young Minds, and the co-founder, Claire, yes, she is here, thankfully, is here to tell us a little bit more about the mental wellbeing team for children and young people, and also the connection with Free Young Minds and other great organisations like Over to the Youth. Hi, Claire. Tell us what's going on.
Hello. Oh, this is amazing. Wow, how inspiring. And really, I truly appreciate for all of you to really take the time to be present here and opening your hearts and minds to what we're actually creating. It's amazing. So, as Lisa said, my name is Claire, and along with my colleague Tessa, who can't be here today, but we're the founders of Free Young Minds. And we have a really simple mission, but very transformative. And really, it was to just educate, empower, and inspire teens to help build their mental and emotional wellness in physical and spiritual, so they become very resilient in life. And I just want to start you off because I really want to evoke your imagination here. And so just hold the space for a moment, because I'm going to share with you why this work is so vital, as Lisa said, and what we've achieved so far. But most importantly, it's really how we can make this lasting change together. So as I invite you on this little journey with me in your imagination, so evoke that childlike nature of yours and picture a world where your young people are trusting and believing in themselves. They're deeply connected to their true values in community. They understand who they are. They recognize their amazing, unique gifts and the skills that they have, which ignite all of their passions. And continue to imagine that generation that are really compassionate and kind. And not only do they understand themselves, but they really understand the people around them. And this means that they radiate confidence and self-awareness and this feeling of like a sense of purpose within them. And as we imagine that, we can envision them actually being educated in an experience that will truly bring out the best in them. That's really what educate means in Latin, to bring out. And it's really to uncover their true potential and align them with their true skills and gifts that they do have. So already you're imagining the possibility of what can happen with generating this sense of well-being from all aspects of the whole self with these teens and young people and children and the young adults that we have in the world. And already, you're already making a difference because you've evoked your imagination. You're visioning a world that we want to see for the future of this generation by planting these seeds, by just listening to my voice, by picturing this in your mind, raising your frequency, your energy. You're already bringing that into reality, even in this very moment in time. So I'm just going to share with you a little bit about us at Free Young Minds and what we are going to be doing, and this collaboration I'm so excited about with the People's Health Alliance, and how you can just get more involved and how we are evolving Free Young Minds. It's been quite a journey. We've had a little bit of a roller coaster in the last couple of years, but we're really coming online with this community feel and the interest that we're having with what we're doing. So we know that the challenges of young people have grown exponentially, even over the past decade, even before, the last 5 years. And the conversations around mental health have increased. But what if we actually took a different approach and we started to focus on, instead of focusing on the things that aren't always working, that's not to say that we don't address the things that are coming up for these young people, but we try to look at it from the potential of what is actually possible. And we have actually seen firsthand through different approaches and innovative approaches of the resilience that are transforming lives through different modalities, and particularly holistic modalities. For example, we were really fortunate to pioneer in a school, and we worked with 30 students delivering rapid transformation hypnotherapy. It was the first school in the whole of the UK and the whole of the world that we managed to get into to really use hypnotherapy to support low-level anxiety as a pioneering. And out of the whole 30 of these teens, every single one of them had a significant improvement in the service. And what was happening was, obviously we're delivering this one-to-one, but the teachers and even the students themselves, who are our greatest teachers really, they were saying to us, well, why can't every single student, why can't all of them have access to this service? And the students themselves were all saying to us, well, why aren't we ever taught this about ourselves? Because we really teach them about the mind, body, and how they react and how they respond, and what that really means physiologically, mentally, and also spiritually, because really the spiritual side of things is they don't really have a connection to their values. They've never really talked about it in school environments. So really helping them to be more emotionally connected. So with that in mind, we came together and we decided to create a little membership portal. And at the moment it is evolving. We've only really it's very in the baby steps. And ultimately it is a holistic approach to working with the teens themselves, but also as a platform for parents and educators, as like a one-stop resource. Because both Tess and I found, even in ourselves, we have our own children, and we were always searching the internet for all different things, and they weren't really in one place. So what we'd like to do is to bring all of that together, like Lisa said, in the PHA directory that they have, but specifically for the children, teens, and the young adults. And with our memberships area, we wanted to also make it affordable. So we're adding lots of different masterclasses, workshops, and really just to inspire not just the teens though, it's going through the parents too, and the educators and all of those, because that's what creates the ripple effect to help young people to become more resilient and feel so empowered that they really genuinely feel that they can live their authentic lives. And they are the future. They're going to be creating this amazing new world. And I'm excited to kind of be part of that and to nurture them into that. So with that in mind as well, and I'm just going to briefly, before I finish off, is mention the connection with Over to the Youth. I know that they can't be here today, but they work with 18+, and we managed to have a conversation briefly with them last week. And they want to cultivate future leaders with heart and soulful-led, heart-centered relationships. And I really encourage you to go and check them out, because their mission is so beautiful. And part of that as well, I feel, we feel really connected to that in Free Young Minds, is to bring it from the 18+ and filter it down into the teens and the children themselves, because their model is extraordinary. So really, that's us at Free Young Minds, and it's amazing that we are coming together. And if anyone is interested in wanting to do masterclasses, specifically working with the children, teens, and young adults, we would absolutely welcome you. And obviously visit our membership site, and there's so many downloads on there. We're still uploading it. We're still developing it, and lots of things are changing. So I just asked to hold the space for us as we're evolving on this journey. And I think that's about it, Lisa. You're on mute.
I'm unmuting, you're muting me. Yeah, technology, honestly, it's the bane of my life. Claire, it's so good to have you on the mental wellbeing youth and children and youth team, because as soon as we met and we talked about Free Young Minds, it was, oh my word, this is exactly what we want to do. So creating it together is just fantastic. And like I say, I think it's almost a three-legged stool with Over to the Youth joined in. I think, it's just amazing. And you hit the nail on the head that the youth are our future. We need to engage them. We need to make sure they're well. We also need to learn from them. I think with Over to the Youth, there's a real mentoring vibe to for the youth, but they're equally mentoring the elders that are coming in to support them. So it's really beautiful, and we're very lucky to have found each other and be able to work together. So
how can we get in touch with Claire, please? How can we get in touch with her?
So we're going to get you'll receive an email after this with everybody's contact details and organisation,
Lovely, thank you.
etc. But I think Kerry is also
the
dropping them
chat.
into the
Yeah.
chat as we go along.
Can you see the chat, Jane? Can you see the chat?
No,
What's-
I can, but I don't know how to. I don't know how to get into it. I'm not very.
Oh, okay.
You will receive an
Sorry.
email.
Yeah, it will be sent to you.
It will. So moving on, in the latter half of last year, Saz Bailey joined our project team, and despite the lack of technical ability of some members, yeah, could be me, she's actually helped us to further develop the website, resources and support functions so that we can actually get back to our roots through a focus on communication, community connection and community action. Saz, tell us more about what you and we have been up to in the last 6 months.
There we go. I'm unmuted. Okay. So my topic's quite a dry one, but very important. So I've actually been involved in different groups almost since the beginning, and I really just kind of hung out in different groups and offered guidance about developing the website and digital marketing, that side of things. And I've seen a lot of enthusiasm and ideas kind of struggle in that time purely because it's such a small team with limited resource and infrastructure. So trying to serve and grow at the same time, and now like we're in an adolescent phase where we're kind of settling into routine and some growing pains, and that's not like peculiar to PHA. All businesses go through, you know, a curve of needing to change the way that they do things, and you know, like from when they first started out. So my background's marketing for a long time, and a good chunk of what I offer to clients is project management. So that's processes, systems, and like workflows, that sort of thing, that enable them to deliver like big missions, and you know, kind of on a big scale. So I see it over and over that clients will have a really big heart and a big mission and loads of enthusiasm, commitment, but struggle to really grow from a certain point. So PHA have been in kind of a very similar position. And the reality is that as a grassroots movement, the CIC organisation is an online offer. And when you're online, you have to market your website accurately. Otherwise, it just kind of becomes a write-off. It's a bit like having a shop window down a one-way street where nobody goes, and it ends up being a complete drain on your resources. So it's a very different way of marketing to word of mouth, which is the grassroots element of it. And it has to be accurate, and it has to be congruent journey for people that are searching for the information to land on the things that they're actually looking for. So for that, PHA's vision, mission and voice needs to be precise and unwavering. So for CIC, brand recognition helps us to establish credibility and legitimacy for the PHA brand, as well as holistic practices across the UK. And a consistent overarching brand presence helps to convey the unified message about the benefits and the effectiveness of holistic health practices, which also challenges the current mainstream perceptions of what holistic practices are all about. So, and it can also amplify our message and mission and signals to the wider UK community that the organisation is reputable and committed to the mission that we've stated. So when people recognise and trust PHA's brand, they're more likely to engage with our collective national vision, learn about holistic practices, and consider joining our community. And they'll associate your values with that of PHA as a go-to representative. And as more and more people become aware of the PHA, the potential for growth increases, allows us to expand PHA's impact and resources. So as much as PHA is a wholly grassroots local movement, we search information online, and our job is to inspire and motivate people to make those human connections offline. So people follow brands on social media. Many are now belief driven and they want organisations to show up for them, and they engage with organisations that publish content. However, people like to engage with people, not brands, and are far more likely to take action on the insights and recommendations from a person that they trust. And in our case, that should be all of us. So the balance we're working really hard to achieve is prioritising an organic and collaborative way of working, but at a much, much bigger scale. So how can we remain grassroots, being for the people and by the people, but at the same time scaling to be a household recognised name? And the answer to that is systems. So systems, processes and workflows that make it super easy to communicate consistently and with an open and honest inclusion of everybody. And for us to collaborate as a team and remove a lot of the unnecessary work that's been done. So this is all I do right now, helping the project team to collaborate and communicate in an open and transparent way. And the way that I like to think about it is kind of like landscape gardening. So before a seed is even planted, the whole thing is designed and the infrastructure is built to support a beautiful organic growth that thrives on top of it, with everything sitting in the right place. And that's how we need things to be. So you might have already seen some of the update messages and kind of feedback pathways coming out from the team in the newsletters and on the website. And there's now a roadmap available through the site, which I think Kerry's going to drop that into the chat. That roadmap is a live working document that lives on the project team system. And this is what guides what we do. It's all transparent. It's all driven by the PHA community, and it's there 24/7 for your feedback. So you'll find a lot more on there explaining what the kind of new community success system is and how we work together as a team instead of kind of emails sitting in inboxes that might get missed and might not get resolved. So we've got a new system in place for that. Why and how we might supply PHA brands for like community PHA branded events to help get the message out on a local level as PHA's brand, as well as supporting practitioners and communities in actually coming together and talking about their own businesses. And it's just really, you know, this is a grassroots organisation. Everything that's done on that roadmap has at some point been suggested by the community, and it's been delivered by the community. And if you're already taking some action, we really need to hear what's happening out there, just to kind of like bolster the team, and also to have like snippets, sound bites, feedback, offers to volunteer. So the links are all over the roadmap, which you can find. It's actually connected to, it's at the top of the timeline that's on the website. And you can also just, when you go to the website and you press / after the pha.org, you can just add the word roadmap and it will show the roadmap. And so if you want to get involved, there's links all over that roadmap for how to get involved, but we also have a new form on the website that is just / hello. And you can send us a message, give us some feedback, offer to get involved. There's on the roadmap, there's kind of job descriptions or skill sets that are needed. But if you don't feel like you fit into anything that's there specifically regarding skills and experience, just time. Absolutely, we can benefit from that. So this truly is down to you. We're all here in the project team are purely to provide the scaffolding and the systems that help the people across the UK and beyond to find the connections and the resources they need. Please go to the website, have a look at the roadmap, and look at the projects, and get in touch, even if it's just feedback or, you know, offering a couple of hours a week. That would be fantastic.
Brilliant. Thank you, Saz. Couldn't have said it better myself. Actually, no, we've been working on this for a good 4 or 5 months, I think. And there's been times when I've thought, oh, what are we actually doing here? And then when I saw the roadmap that has come out of this work, it's blown me away. And we're going to start talking about 2025 and what's in the pipeline in a minute. But please do go to the website, have a look at it when you've got a chance. And like Saz said, there's loads of opportunity there to click a link and contact us and get involved. It's really exciting stuff. So moving on to 2025 and what we've got in the pipeline, you know, it always amazes me when we look back at the last 3 years and how much we have achieved on a shoestring budget and the goodwill and support of fantastic people. But to scale it up, which is what we're aiming to do, and reach the people, we really need your help. So that said, let's have a look at what we are working on in 2025. I think it's important at this point just to say that all our plans are subject to people power provided by our volunteers and donations. In other words, the support of you, the PHA community. The project team comes with an open invitation to you all to offer time, skills and expertise to ensure that PHA succeeds. So I'd like to take the opportunity just to thank the project team members and all our volunteers, past and present, who have been a part of the journey that has got us to where we are today. So the first thing I wanted to talk about in the 2025 roadmap is that we have a new community action campaign that we're currently working on with a target launch date of April 2025, which will coincide with our 3rd birthday. So it's with much excitement that I'd like to introduce you to Connect the Dots. The aim of this campaign is to grow a network of connected, informed and empowered communities across the UK. With almost 8,000 villages, towns and cities across the country, we envisage community groups in every locality, thus connecting the dots across the map of the British Isles through our community hub directory. So these hubs will be supported by our practitioner directory, offering affordable help and support at that community level. Running alongside Connect the Dots is our fancyacuppa campaign, and here to talk about it is Kerry. I'm going to pull her away from the chat because she was the brains behind the campaign and someone who's successfully created a local group herself.
I like that, brains. And I nipped in before you introduced me as gorgeous Kerry, like you did earlier. So thank you, gorgeous Lisa.
Thank you.
And hello, everybody. Welcome. It's great to see so many people here. Some of you may already know me. I've been around with PHA, like many people here, right from the beginning. And as my lovely friend and previous colleague on Wellbeing Wednesday, Maureen Fearon, she is here, reminded us always to talk the talk, don't just walk the walk, or it's the other way around. Walk the walk, don't talk the talk. So one day it occurred to me that I was part of PHA and not really doing anything in my community. But what can I do? Although I'm a fitness instructor and I do massage, etc., I'm not really a health practitioner. Or what could I do? Start a health hub. It's a very daunting idea. Didn't really have the time. And yeah, what could I do? But during our beginnings of the mental wellbeing project, it occurred to me that sometimes people just want to talk and they need a space to talk. And so I had the idea that maybe if I created a space where people could come and have a cuppa and a chat and just see what happens. So again, one of the most amazing women ever to walk the earth, my mum, I grabbed hold of her and said, come on, you got to help me because I can't do it on my own. And she's here tonight somewhere, but there's so many people I can't quite see her. So together we started a little community group where we didn't specify women in the beginning, but that's what it's become. And now really it should stay that way. And if you went along, you'd see why. But they have such good fun, crafts, chatter, laughs, games, and chatting. And I'm still on the WhatsApp group. And there are so many messages saying what they've achieved and just what it's brought to their lives. And everybody looks forward to going. And even just when it snowed, we had quite bad weather. There was constant messages, is everybody doing okay? And to me, that is what community is all about. And I'm hoping from there, I know my mum's an avid gardener and she's growing, each year she tries to grow and she's following the PFFA. So that hopefully will transcend and you can see how things will grow and improve. So it's going so well. I think there's probably about 25 or 26 of them now that I've managed to step away and I can focus my time back with the PHA. But I just wanted to show how anybody could start something quite easily, be it in your house, coffee shop or local hall. So that's my little story and thank you for listening.
Amazing. And it doesn't have to, that's it. We keep things simple, one person becomes two people, maybe 4 or 5, and it doesn't have to be too difficult. So with campaigns like Fancy a Cuppa and Connect the Dots, we want to just engage with people and share these, these inspirational stories to inspire them to come out and just say, do you fancy a cuppa? So let's connect those dots. We'll hear more about Connect the Dots in the next few months, but it's a campaign that I think doesn't necessarily belong to PHA. We'll develop it, it'll evolve, but it'd be great to see it as a household name and that everybody will understand what Connect the Dots means and they want to achieve a dot on that map. So it's exciting stuff coming forward. Up next, I'd like to introduce our International Ambassador, Sarah Chav, and one of the UK's leading naturopathic doctors, Clinical Director of the Optimal Health Group and PHA Ambassador, Lisa Steele. PHA embraces whole person healing of mind, body and spirit, and through a focus on spirituality and quantum healing, we will consider the relationship between spirituality and healing and provide a learning pathway for people to explore at their own pace. So welcome, Lisa and Sarah. I can see Lisa, Sarah there.
Hi,
Lisa.
can you see me? I'm waving.
Sarah there?
Can you see me? I'm waving.
I can't see you, but I can hear you. Sarah, do you want to talk a little bit about the spiritual side of this group that we've formed, the Spiritual and Quantum Healing?
Yeah, just wonderful to be here and hear all about the community projects. And I'm loving this Fancy a Cuppa idea as well. I'm inspired to actually start that in the local community here in Portugal. So I just wanted to share the exciting news of the growing role of spirituality and quantum healing within the People's Health Alliance. And it's just wonderful to have this vital field being recognised within the PHA. At the moment, we are in the process of creating a landing page, which will be for all kinds of resources, including articles, videos from healers and teachers who work in this field. So once that's up and running, there'll be just so many resources and so much inspiration for you all to connect in with. We've also just set up a Telegram group, and it's had an absolutely phenomenal response. And I'm sure the link for that will be shared in the information also that follows this video. So this chat is really to hear from you, to see, you know, what your interests are, what you'd like to talk about, keeping it very much within this field. And I think the fact that this has had such a phenomenal response, it really just shows how many people are eager to explore these kind of conversations. And by putting this work on the map, we're inviting more people to discover and learn and engage with these profound healing modalities. Albert Einstein famously said that future medicine will be the medicine of frequencies. And I think that future is now. The lovely Alexia, the coordinator of the People's Health Alliance in New Zealand, did a little poll in her community, and they asked what their members would like to see more of within the community: more nutrition, more community building, all different things, and frequency healing came up top. So it's really interesting that more and more people are really questioning the nature of reality and looking for answers to these kind of questions. So what we're going to be looking at with the People's Health Alliance is this incredible overlap between spirituality and quantum physics. And if you speak to a quantum physicist and an energy healer, they'll often tell you the same thing, that the universe is made up of energy. And behind life, there exists an energetic infrastructure. So we've seen in this overlap in science and spirituality, but for me, it's really consciousness that brings this all together. You could look at that as the kind of the consciousness bringing this energetic landscape to life. So really excited to be talking about this in the spirituality field. I mean, from a spiritual perspective, we could look at it that we're all connected, you know, through the quantum field or the 0 point field, from a physics perspective, or that connected to that God consciousness, universal consciousness, divine, from a more of a spiritual perspective. And this connection gives us access to infinite knowledge and unlimited potential for healing. So by working with these deeper levels of consciousness and energy, we can heal, transform, and awaken to our true nature. So in doing this, during this time of global crisis, it's a real opportunity to kind of realize the sacred mission of our higher potential. So the impact of this is that by connecting with this inner source, it not only heals ourselves, our personal healing, but then it has the ripple effects out into our communities as we all start to awaken and shift our consciousness. So this acceleration of both individual and planetary evolution is at the heart of what we're building with the spirituality and quantum healing group. Through our Telegram community and upcoming resource pages, we're laying the groundwork for the most effective approaches to healing, awakening, and transformation, bringing together science and spirituality. So I do encourage you to engage with the resources and conversations. And I think Lisa Steele is going to come on now and talk some more about it from a quantum healing perspective. Thank you so much.
Hello, everybody. Can you hear me? Thank you, Sarah, and lovely to be here. Some very friendly faces. Because I didn't hear Sarah Chav's speech before, the beauty is that a lot of what she has said is what I was about to say too. So this is the connectivity. So I'm going to hop through some of the points that I was going to talk about. And I think what I'm going to do is just kind of ground it, land it, make it practical. And from from my kind of day-to-day perspective, working in a holistic clinic in Hampshire and experiencing this evolution that is going on, to the point that whatever we think can be. And I suppose my journey has been from training as a naturopathic physician for 30 years, from a educational standpoint where we were trained in biology and chemistry and biochemistry and physics, but the energy field was pretty much contained to traditional parameters of homeopathy, flower essences, acupuncture, radionics. And what the last 15 years have done is there's this evolutionary breakthrough into technology, which has taken subjects that we studied hands-on, which were slow, laborious, fascinating, but took enormous time. They took energy, they took research, and as a one-to-one person, you know, there was few people that could access that. But what the technology has done now, it's transformed the speed and the communication and the education to a much wider audience internationally. So this is a really exciting time to be alive. In the allopathic system, there's very much the use of these quantum tools for diagnostics, but they fail at the implementation of it because they're still in a Newtonian model, of physics. So whilst they have incredible diagnostic equipment, they're not using this kind of quantum technology to support the acceleration of people's health. So having run a clinic for 30 years, from 2006, I was able to see the turning point. And from then on, we have brought in thermography, we brought in bioresonance, we brought in biofeedback devices, scalar, PEMF, sonic sound treatments, all working in the acupuncture meridian field, in the quantum field, understanding that it's important to know that primarily we are electrical at root and we are on an electromagnet. So it's the voltage in our cells which is critical to our health and to the adaptation of our bodies to stressors that create disease. We now know how to look at the brain and its electrical system, to interpret symptoms like depression and anxiety. We now know how to look at how that interfaces with the autonomic nervous system and the central nervous system. We now know how to do neural repair through quantum field technology. So this is a massive awakening. And as Sarah said, you know, the future of healing is frequency, is light and sound. The whole concept of quantum is that is, you know, the smallest discrete unit of a phenomenon. The quantum of light is a photon, the quantum of electricity is an electron. So we're all quantum. We cannot be Newtonian. We only become Newtonian when we die. So for eons, our primary route to health has been through taking physical devices, chemicals, or using surgery to try to fix dysfunctional parts. But quantum implies that nothing is fixed. You know, it's the voltage, it's the frequency, it's the electricity of it, it's the light of us, which is where the healing is. And in that domain, we are able to do that ourselves. We are able to self-regulate. What's missing in the jigsaw is the education, is the knowledge, is the confidence to understand how magical we are, and that if we are empowered and if we are knowledgeable, then we ourselves can decide to take the tools around us and facilitate and increase the speed at which our cell healing happens. And back to Sarah, quantum physics is about interconnectedness of all things and all beings, the connection of our minds with a cosmic mind. And the new buzzword, well, it's not a new buzzword, but the buzzwords that we're working with in healing is metaphysicists. So metaphysics is associated with quantum mechanics, and it goes into understanding about the law of attraction, how interpersonal relationship works, how consciousness works. Quantum healing is focused on well-being and can be influenced by the smallest level of physics. So this is Sarah, and this is Sarah's conversation about the ripple effect. Everything is made of energy, and it is how an individual interacts with that energy which influences their own reality. We know that we have vital force. We know that we have chi, which is present in all living things. The key is to ensure that this chi, this continues to flow. There are no blockages. If we get imbalances, then we will be unwell. So for what we're doing in clinic, we are sending messages to people who arrive in our space, who are drawn to our space, that we can heal ourselves. Education is key. Knowledge is empowering. So if we bring this down to the community story, community is quantum. It's a collection of energies which feel into the right frequency and form a bond, which over time increases voltage and reaches to the higher planes. Heart-centered individuals who share this common desire and work together for the greater good of us all, this is the journey that every single person on this call are on. Yeah, I'm on it, the PHA are on it, the ambassadors are on it, every single person is contributing to this community quantum gathering. And this is the opportunity, if this really connects with you, and it is a frequency. There are lots of people out there who don't know what on earth we're talking about. But if you connect, you'll connect from the heart, and you will know that what is happening in a very, very fast way, enhanced by the technology, is a complete transformation of our health system. And we will be supporting a new project which will launch this year. It will be focused on enabling everyone on that frequency to learn, to be able to access, to be participating in the metaphysics of the future. So I really encourage you, if you're resonating, and everybody that's been able to talk about this tonight, which is a phenomenal group of people, all ages, all genders, and wonderful, wonderful. This is the time to step in, empower yourself. And by doing that, everything will change as it is meant to be. So if you're keen to get involved, we'll happily onboard you into this dynamic space which never is fixed and keeps on continuing with a vital force of momentum. Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you, Lisa and Sarah. And for me, it just really does reinforce the message that we need to engage youth. We need to engage the youth in this.
Yeah.
They are the metaphysicists of the future that we're looking to train. And oh gosh, I wish I was 30 years younger and I could start again, because it's just phenomenal, and it's so exciting what's coming. So yeah, there's lots more of this to come. I'm going to move on because it's 9 o'clock and you've all been very patient. We've been waiting to speak to Dr. Tess Lawrie, and just to say, you know, it's always been key to PHA and our growth that we collaborate and make great partnerships. And we're delighted to say that we're now working with the World Council for Health and Dr. Tess Lawrie, and I'm delighted to introduce you tonight.
Thanks very much. It's really such a pleasure to be here and to just listen to all these amazing initiatives that that are all part and partners of PHA. So thank you very much for inviting me. And I have some of my colleagues here as well, Nick and Francesca, I see in the room. So I'm glad that they are here. And if you do see them in the room and you're not familiar with World Council for Health, you'll see the logo of World Council for Health is a hand and a heart, and then it's in a big pink apple. So so that's our logo, and it's about community standing up for taking responsibility for health, and also you know, the apple is not only nutrition but it's wholesomeness. You know, it's about returning to a way of wholesomeness that we seem to have lost along the way. So this partnership with PHA is really wonderful and a real blessing, because we formed, I think, more or less the same time when, you know, all the COVID nonsense broke out. And my background is in medicine and research, and I was working as a consultant for the World Health Organization, and obviously they were doing everything that was not evidence-based, and it was clear that there needed to be an organization that could stand up and counter the deception, the lies, and terrible policies they were recommending. And so we stepped up into that space, not necessarily intentionally as an alternative to the WHO, but just to reach people, because we were a grassroots organization like PHA, and we were at the time comprised of lots of different health organizations around the world saying, what can we do? And we said, well, let's just stand up, do our own COVID protocols and things, and let the people know how they can help themselves. But this evolved in a way, so just like, I just want to say that, just to emphasize, we're a coalition of grassroots organizations. So we're not a new hierarchical institution like the WHO. We've especially had to think, you know, strategically how we model ourselves, because we certainly don't need any more of these bureaucratic concentration of power, top-down organizations. We need grassroots organizations. So we did a very, you know, our approach was very similar in a way to PHA, gathering up organizations around the world and across disciplines as well. So we have media organizations, we have police organizations, holistic health organizations, activist organizations, and so on. So not just medical organizations. And we now have, I think it's more than 250, and they're across 55 countries. So then we did a survey in 2022, and it was, well, what, you know, and it was people wanted more health advice, and we were basically messaging for our partner organizations who held the expertise on various things, like be it 5G or quantum healing, or, you know, whatever we were messaging those. And the feedback we got from the survey was that people wanted us to be a new World Health Organization. So as I say, we didn't wish to be that, but what we did see was a way that we could facilitate a new decentralized, so we could give the power back, we could, from these globalist controllers, by actually forming an organization based on our partner organizations, and then saying, well, let's now you form your World Council for Health Australia. Let's form World Council for Health Oceania, which is a regional group that incorporates New Zealand and Australia. Let's form WCH Florida, and then we can do the other states in the US and form a WCH USA, a WCH Canada, and so on. And so we started giving the power back again, the control. We gathered all because what we found was that groups in the same country were struggling to work together with one another. For, you know, there's various egos and there's always and different foci and people. The groups were afraid of one another. So when they partnered with us, and then suddenly we're saying, oh well, there you go. Now you get together and form your own council for health. It worked really well because the glue that we were using to get groups to work together were these better way principles, which came out of a conference we held in 2022 called the Better Way Conference. And it was very solutions focused, and we looked at science and media and law and, you know, integrative health and so on. And when we distilled it all down, we said, well, what's the gist what's the take-home message? And it was basically, well, we've got to learn to get along together. And here are some simple principles that transcend religious barriers, they transcend cultural barriers. And so we've had these translated now into more than 30 languages. I just run through them. I put them on the background just so that you could see, because I wasn't sure if we'd have slides today. But we act in honor and do no harm. That's a basic tenet of natural law, universal law. We have free will. We're responsible for our choices. We're part of nature. Spirituality is integral to our well-being. We thrive together, value different perspectives, and use technology with discernment. And underpinning the whole lot is that we don't tolerate the violation of inalienable rights and freedoms, and we don't tolerate profit, power, and influence coming before the well-being of people and the planet. So it takes a bit of courage, you know, to say, well, these are the principles, especially when, you know, the bailiff's knocking at the door, whatever it is. We all know it's not that easy these days. And so basically our motto is there's a better way. And the way to the better way is basically recognizing that an individual is the foundation stone of creating a better world. So we have healthy individuals, and then we have healthy communities, and so on. And health cannot be looked at in isolation. It has to be associated with sovereignty. Health and sovereignty go hand in hand. And that word sovereignty is something that we need to teach, and which we are also so we're teaching about holistic health, and we're also teaching about sovereignty. How sovereignty means acting on your conscience and not taking orders from other people or other organizations, realizing that you are your own territory and you actually have to protect it, but also you have a responsibility to nature and you know, and to communities. So I know I don't have a lot of time. I just want to say we have a variety of approaches. We have the international approach, which is producing policies and that, and helping to reform, because we do, like Pam said, see everything coming down. So we need some level of resistance to the WHO and the UN and the WEF. Which we do, 20% I'd say resistance, 80% is co-creation. It's what are we building, what's new. And so we have a number of community initiatives. We hold Better Way conferences, detox fairs, health hubs, and we don't do it. It's facilitated. So, for example, because we don't really run much on money, we just fund it like PHA on small donations from you know, our supporters, and that mostly it's people power. So we have a people bank, and so our WCH Florida put on a WCH detox fair recently, and it was really, I really had a sense of making progress, because 90% of attendees out of 400 people were vaccinated. So, and we were able to, you know, help. So, you know, we had an amazing lineup of clinical practitioners who shared their expertise, and people really left with the tools they needed to you know, help them optimize their health so they don't get sick. So that's just one of the things. But this is the sort of thing you were talking about. You know, would you like a cuppa? We also envisage rolling out this year as part of a Better Way movement, Better Way cafes and that sort of thing, or Better Way coffee, you know, where people just get together, have a cup of coffee, or invite people around to a cafe or a venue and just talk about things that are important. So that's the sort of the gathering community side of things. We have a lot of personal stuff that people can do. We have a Great Free Set campaign. It's www.greatfreeset.org, and that website has really simple tips that can sort of take you on that journey to sustaining yourself with your own food, or detaching yourself from your mobile phone, escaping the digital dungeon, not shopping at supermarkets, all of those things that people don't realize keep them trapped in this system of exploitation. So that's the Great Free Set campaign. We have a page on our website, which is a Get Involved page, and there's a number of campaigns on there. Another campaign that we're rolling out this year, well, we have rolled out, and obviously these things are all slow, but is a Pass It On or Spread Love campaign, because the streets are so bleak and there's so many people you can see are just so down at the moment, and with hand hearts, we find, we took these to Florida, and at the end of the 400 people in the hall holding their hands up like that, because this is a way of saying thank you. It's a way of saying hello. When you're in the car and there's somebody scowling at you because you've taken a wrong turn, and you just say sorry or something, it has multiple uses. You can hail a taxi very easily in London, I discovered. So this is something that we feel transcends. It's a universal symbol. It can be used in Japan, in Australia, in Peru, and everybody understands it. So it's a way of communicating when communication is difficult, and there are all sorts of barriers to why people may or may not see you. So it's a way of cheering people up, and we've been getting the people who've been making these are the grannies in the nursing homes. So, and they've been delighted. I can't seem to give them enough felt. So it's a really great way of getting the elderly together with young people. We thought it could be used in cafes as well, with a tip the team and take a hand heart, so that it's sort of a way of goodwill, encouraging goodwill within the community, with tipping the baristas and the bartenders and so on. So it lends itself to lots of different ideas, and it costs about £1 for 20 hearts or something, so to make, plus the joy, the pleasure given to the elderly in these nursing homes who are making it. So that's that. And then of course we have the detox study. So this is another way of really getting help to people. And also finding out what works and what doesn't, what improves health. And there are various outcome measures that we can use now. It looks like we'll even be able to include blood tests before and after, to see whether these detox programs that have been put together by our country councils help. And again, just to say, the beauty of the detox booklet, if you haven't seen it, it's on the website. It has protocols that have come in from our country councils, just demonstrating the value of the sort of international collaboration and helping people realize there's many, many ways they can take responsibility for their health and optimize their health. It isn't just one way, the WHO way, or that sort of thing. So lastly, I just wanted to say that we also have a WCH Nursing Council that's just formed. It's an international nursing council for ethical nurses who wish to step out of the their NHS system or whatever system, and help build a new nursing alliance around the world. So on the website you can find that. If you just type in nursing, I had some slides with it on, but perhaps one of my colleagues could just pop it in the chat, to the link to the nursing, because I think that would probably be of great interest. And I think that is probably all I have time for, but please do have a look on our website, worldcouncilforhealth.org, and explore the Get Involved section and also the Health Resources section. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Tess. I mean, we're definitely aligned in our principles, and we're really excited at PHA to work with you going forward. Amazing. Thank you.
Yeah, us too.
So we're also joined tonight on by another fantastic partnership, and I'd like to introduce our very own Gio, who's worked really hard with our partner, My Medical Choice, to provide an amazing service which enables us to protect our bodily autonomy. And that's been, let's face it, has been challenged a lot in recent years. And Gio is joined by Dr. Tina Pearce. So they're here to tell us a little bit more about My Medical Choice.
Hello, my name's Gio, and after hearing all the speakers, I just want to stay on mute now. But yes, basically, we're working alongside My Medical Choice, which is an extremely important system, and we need to get this out there. Basically, My Medical Choice, it's about enabling individuals to make well-informed healthcare decisions whilst ensuring their medical preferences are respected and upheld. Some quick information on it. It's a legal system that helps prevent unwanted medical interventions, and it does do that. It reduces the chances of medical errors and provides essential support when a patient is unable to communicate. The membership features include things like a medical alert system, which automatically notifies your loved ones the moment the paramedic arrives. If they scan your card, as soon as they've scanned it, messages are sent straight away to your loved ones so they know that there's a medical emergency that's happened. It includes something called access to a national blood database, which caters for members who prefer blood free of certain ingredients, like those derived from mRNA-based experimental treatments. You can also specify your own trusted contacts in there if you wish. Now, we know that many are going to be really interested in the National Blood Database. So what we're doing is releasing some information, some short videos that better help understand that. But also, if you log into the site, there is information in the site there already on that. It has a pre-surgical support pack offering guidance and resources to protect your medical preferences during a planned surgery. And very importantly, it has an advanced decision notice system that legally protects your medical choices and acts as your voice if you're unable to communicate. It was developed in conjunction with British paramedics. And one important thing I'd like to mention is that it does not link into the NHS database systems, and the NHS systems cannot lift your information. Now, we also know how some hospitals have been caught out placing unauthorized do not resuscitate or DNR orders on patients without consultation. To address this, My Medical Choice includes a specific directive within your ADN, or Advanced Decision Notice, that prohibits the placement of a DNR without prior discussion with you or your loved ones if you cannot communicate. At its core, basically, My Medical Choice is about empowering people with knowledge and authority. It helps you make informed decisions about your healthcare, including opting out of experimental treatments and even procedures and refusing certain tests. Now, the bit that intrigued me is when I was working alongside them in their ADN, they actually have a bit at the top for pets. And within there, you can actually list your pet and any specific needs that the pet has, so your eyes contacts can see that if you're in hospital. In my case, I have like an elderly cat that is diabetic, so it's very specific requirements, and it's actually listed within my ADN. Now, does it work in a medical environment? Well, yes, it does. Working with My Medical Choice, I've personally witnessed firsthand different medical organisations contacting them and asking for some help regarding certain patients, be it on matters of blood or other things, protecting them in hospital, making sure that certain treatments can't be given to them. It does that. And we've had some amazing success stories. I won't go into them, but I think there's some articles written on them out there. But there is more to this system. I've only got a few minutes, so I'm not going to keep going on about it and telling you everything, but there's a lot more to it. And if anyone is interested in knowing more, I'm pretty sure that they've placed a link within the chat somewhere. And we're very fortunate to have Dr. Tina Pearce on here, who's going to say a few words about what she thinks about the service from a medical professional perspective.
Thank you very much, Gio, for that introduction. I came into this space very recently when Gio introduced me to My Medical Choice, and I must say that there's been a lot of fallout from the COVID years, and so many patients now have no confidence that they are going to get the best care, and they have basically lost, there's an awful lot of confidence has been lost in the medical profession, and in the care that they would get, both in a sort of routine environment and in an emergency environment. And that's made people very, very anxious indeed. But also we've got some patients, the groups of patients I see. So in my clinic, I see patients who have mast cell activation syndrome, long COVID, and who are vaccine injured. And they have all very, very sensitive systems. So there are certain drugs and medications and chemicals they just cannot tolerate. And this causes so much anxiety. They're so worried that when they get admitted to hospital, if they're unconscious in an accident or something, they will be given a whole load of anesthetics or drugs that will just make them extremely, extremely unwell, and they could have an anaphylactic shock, for example. So people, when I mention my medical choice to my patients, they are absolutely thrilled. I mean, you can see, and it's interesting because they've never mentioned this anxiety to me before. But as soon as I say there's something I want to tell them about, and they might be interested in this, they are hugely, hugely impressed and very, very relieved to be able to put all their information in a secure way onto this website, know that their loved ones will be contacted, know that their medical history, the drugs they're on, their intolerances, reactions, everything will be on there, and their preferences as to what should happen to them going forward in their care. So it's fantastic, and I really want to thank all the team who've been working on my medical choice. I think it's a wonderful innovation. It's only for the UK at the moment, and I'm looking forward to telling more of my patients about it, because I think it will help them to sleep well at night. And I just also want to say thank you to everybody who's spoken this evening, and thank you very much for inviting me. I've enjoyed working with Tess, Lawrie, over quite a few years now, isn't it, Tess? I think we sort of made connections at the end of 2020, and you're all doing such amazing, wonderful, important work. It gives me great hope. I think it brings all our vibrations up, which is incredibly important. I loved all the quantum medicine, quantum physics, the connection with spirituality. I think that we're all finally connecting much more, aren't we, with the spiritual side of us, and developing it further and further. So the future looks very exciting. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Tina. Yeah, I discovered my medical choice pretty much as it launched. I think it was the end of 2020, and I've been shouting from the rooftops ever since. This is the ultimate insurance policy. Everybody needs it. How do we get it out there? So it's fantastic to have you on board, Tina, and you know, telling your patients about it, and together we can do it. It's happening. We're all coming together and we're getting the word out. So it's really exciting. Right, I think we're about mile mark 20 on the marathon that we're on, so there's not that much more to get through. I think I'd just like to, we've already met a couple of our amazing ambassadors, Lisa, Sarah, but I'd like to give a shout out to all our ambassadors. We've really got some fantastic people part of PHA, and some of them are in the audience tonight. I know I've spotted Leandra Ashton's here, who's currently working tirelessly with the COVID inquiry, and she's the founder of the People's Care Watchdog. I know that Gar is here, Dr. Gar Chalfont, who is the founder of Dementia Pioneers. And I also want to mention a couple of new ambassadors to this very fine group that are here tonight. We've got Dr. John Roberts, who is helping us create a directory of holistic dental professionals, something that people are crying out for. And EMF expert Glyn Hughes is here as well, and he'll be educating us in practical steps to protect ourselves as the exposure to harmful energy waves become an ever-increasing threat to our well-being. Unfortunately, our ambassador for homeopathy, Carol Boyce, isn't able to join us tonight, but she has shared a message with us, which Kerry is going to deliver.
Thank you. It's a shame that Carol can't be here, but I'm pleased to read this for you. She says, apologies, I can't be there today. I was really looking forward to being able to celebrate the PHA. I joined the vision in week 1 of its inception, determined to put homeopathy on the table, and it's been amazing to watch PHA's evolution. All power to Kerry and Lisa and others for taking the reins and making delivery of information so accessible. Lots happening in the world of homeopathy, the ongoing negative FDA campaign in America and the resistance to reincorporating it back into the NHS. But this is nothing new. We have faced this and worse since Hahnemann first brought the concept to medicine 250 years ago. Our homeopathy group within PHA numbers 150 and is active, though looks apparently quiet on Telegram. We have members working in hubs, creating low-cost clinics in the name of PHA and resources, like our 35 conditions ebook we wrote for the public in answer to the NHS directive to stop treatments for 35 conditions at the GP level. Its reach continues to be wide, and with it, promotion of the PHA. We have taken part in PHA roundtables and given PHA webinars to the public on a number of issues. In the wider world of homeopathy, the full-length feature documentary, which as co-director producer I helped create last year, will be shown in February on the Children's Health Defence platform. With 20 million subscribers and headed up by Robert Kennedy Jr., who we hope will be approved as Head of Human Services in the new US administration, this should seriously help put homeopathy on a bigger table, and with it, potentially the PHA and the World Council for Health. Thanks go to the PHA for their ongoing support of homeopathy, and to all of us who are involved in whatever way we say, onward, no matter what. Carol Boyce, PHA Ambassador for Homeopathy.
Absolutely, onward. If you would like any more information on our amazing ambassadors, you can find that on the website. We're nearly there. But as a technophobe, I do appreciate that we need people smarter than me who can look at how we embrace technology to our advantage. So tonight we're joined by Alexia from PHA New Zealand and Graham Atkinson, who actually have the smarts to do just that. Are you there, Alexia?
Yeah, I'm here. Hi.
Tell us what you're up to in the world of technology.
Hi, everybody. It's amazing to be here amongst so many wonderful supporters of the People's Health Alliance. I've, as a coordinator for PHA in New Zealand and as someone who loves finding solutions to the issues we face today, I've been delving a little into some of the emerging technological opportunities that may be useful to us at the PHA. Tech that will help us in our continuing efforts to build a resilient and decentralized parallel system. We have been looking into ways to use these emerging new tools proliferating in the Web3 and blockchain space, tools that can be used to our advantage, building and creating hubs and helping them thrive. Ways to connect, barter, and exchange between and within hubs, and to do so privately. Exploring ideas like creating our own People's Health Alliance coin or a token, or even having distinct bioregional currencies able to be swapped between regions and countries, using tokenization for affordable fractional ownership of our very own hub real estate, and organizing all this on our own PHA and PFFA decentralized apps, DApps as they call them. These are the amazing possibilities now open to us all. I've been fortunate to have found like-minded, resilience-focused people who are creating the tools and platforms that can assist us and collaborate. Platforms like Local Scale that facilitate bioregional currencies have integrated marketplaces, farmers markets, and tools for things like heritage, seed saving, and swapping, all in one place with an interoperable wallet. Their friends at hypha.earth offer free tools and guidance to grow our mycelium network of organizations. They have assisted our small core team at PHA New Zealand to launch and trial our own DAO, Decentralized Autonomous Organization, also on the blockchain, to help us with transparency, openness, record keeping, and coordination in this new paradigm structure. There is a new uncensorable social media, proliferating in this space too. Things like Nostr, where people run their own node servers and retain control of their own data, earning Bitcoin for content. It's a new world, a new Aquarian world. The cypherpunk developers, philosopher guardians of our fundamental right to privacy and sovereignty, are all figuring workarounds to everything the technocrats throw at us. It is well worth utilizing Web3 things, the decentralized Aquarian internet that so aligns with the ethos of the People's Health Alliance. Let's see how it can help us facilitate and scale the PHA vision of connection, freedom, and choice for the people, by the people. These are the possibilities, opportunities, and continuing work for us on the roadmap for 2025. Thank you.
Thank you, Alexia. And do you know, I just love the fact that you're in New Zealand and you're going to be steering this exploration of what this can mean for PHA as a whole international family. So, you know, it's the whole community thing, isn't it? We started in the UK, we expanded and spread, and now we can share projects and work together for global solutions. So it's really exciting. Graham, where's Graham?
I'm here.
Are you going to tell us about our conscious path?
I am, yes. So
Fabulous.
evening, everybody. Thank you for having me, Lisa. So yeah, what I've got to let you know about is a new development which fits very much into what Alexia was just talking about, really, which is decentralized blockchain connections for our community. So I'm working together with 2 other people in the UK and 3 Australians actually, and we are in the process of establishing a website which will eventually move into the blockchain. The movement is called Our Conscious Path, and it essentially will be a safe private place for communities to connect across the world. So it is essentially a digital platform to help people come together to exchange information in a safe place. It will be not capable of being taken down or tampered with or censored in any way. There will be content hosted on the site. There'll be interesting interviews, podcasts, videos, other resources. Practitioners will be able to, if they've not got their own website, they could easily host their service, if you like, in this domain. So the 6 of us are very much coming from the spiritual quantum space. I myself started as very much a Newtonian pharmacist in the NHS in the UK, and I've completely transitioned out and into the sort of spiritual quantum space. So we are going to launch the website in beta on Valentine's Day, with a view to launching publicly on 21st of March, the spring equinox. So we very much see ourselves as enablers of pretty much everything that you've heard about today. I'm greatly humbled to be following all these great speakers, and because whilst a lot of us want to build in the real world, myself included, I think my skills are actually helping other people do that. So I very much got a strategic sort of ex-commissioning expertise from the English NHS. I know how the allopathic system doesn't work, and I want to help build the alternative. So I'm done with shouting at the old world. I want to, as Tess was saying, put most of my energy into building the new world. So that's what the Our Conscious Path movement is all about. And we welcome partnering with the PHA and any other organisation that wants to utilise this space. We probably eventually see it actually folding into a bigger collection. We don't see this standing alone forever. We think it's possibly a placeholder which will eventually become subsumed into whatever we build together in this wonderful community that we're all part of. So thank you for listening. Thank you for the invitation.
And thank you for doing this techie stuff that I couldn't even begin to dip a toenail into. It just horrifies me, but it's great to know we've got you guys on the case, so to speak. Finally, breathe a sigh of relief, everybody. Last but certainly not least, I just want to give a shout out to our international family, and it's great to see some of you here tonight. We've just seen Alexia, we've seen Sarah. We currently have a strong presence in Australia, New Zealand, USA, Spain, Portugal, Malta and Slovenia. And we'll continue to see international communities grow this year. 2024 was a great year for collaboration across our international groups on projects such as the mental well-being and the spiritual and quantum healing, which has provided us with a great opportunity to leverage the skills, expertise and resources of this wonderfully diverse and talented soul family. So I just want to say a huge thank you to the internationals. It's great to have you here, and we carry on building, moving forward together. So we're nearly there. The last thing to do, call to action. And get involved, and it's wonderful. We've still got 120 people here at the finishing line, which I'm so impressed with. Call to action. We can share these in our next newsletter, but you know, there's a few off the top of my head that I'd just like to put out there. First of all, you know, if anybody is a practitioner or part of a community group, please join and share our directories. Let's get as many as we can on the practitioner directory and the community hub directory, so that people can find you and people can get involved. Secondly, we mentioned before that if you're interested in the project team and you feel you have skills that you can contribute to the team, get in touch. We'll give you some contact details very shortly. Very shortly, just shortly, I think. I know we're in a rush. Thirdly, contribute if you can to our resource library and our social media content. So we've got all sorts in the resource library, from webinars to workshops to blogs, articles. We've got the podcast. If you've got anything to contribute, that would be great, because we're just growing that library all the time. Fundraising and/or grants. A few people with CICs have mentioned grant applications, and they really are a minefield. So if there's anyone out there that is experienced in this area, we need to talk to you. That would be fantastic. And finally, given the community focus of the evening, and you've seen our amazing group of ambassadors, we would like to find a community ambassador, somebody that can really get behind the community action campaigns and also shine a light on those community champions that we've seen examples of today. So if that's something that resonates, again, please get in touch. And Kerry's just going to talk a little bit about how to get involved if none of that floats your boat.
I'm going to do this really quickly.
Last leg. Last leg.
There's been so much fantastic dialogue.
Moving the Matrix 2025. The 29th of January new moon. I had just come away from the fire we lit in the backyard for our burning ritual to burn away obstacles and bring in the new. As the sun and moon join Pluto, bring us into a grand transformation. Now is the right this. Today was going to be the first day of a women's retreat.
Interesting.
I don't know what's going on there. Did you hear that? I don't know where that came from at all. I'm sorry about that, everybody. So I'll just keep it brief. Basically, if you'd like to volunteer and have technical skills like me, please get in touch. I have been keeping an eye on the chat and lots of contacts in there, but you will get more in the email, and then on the recording, there'll be in the YouTube descriptions and on the website. But with regards to what Saz and Lisa have been outlining for the PHA, need your feedback. Are we on the right track? Is this what you, the people, want? We can't speak for you. We can only do this with you and with all our partners and affiliates. There's a list of volunteer skills, jobs, if you like, on the roadmap, but we welcome everybody. Doesn't matter your skills. If you've got the time and you have the passion and you like what we're doing, we'd love to have you join us. One of our lovely volunteers who actually published or helped publish, she helped write the ebook for the homeopathic Telegram group, and it's on our website. It's called The 35. Julie Taylor, I think she was with us earlier. She's kindly writing an ebook for us with all our Monday on the Mend information that we've had going for the last couple of years. So whatever you have to offer, we'd gladly accept, especially on text. Donating, every pound helps. If you can donate, that would be amazing. Lots of different ways. As Lisa said, there's lots of fundraising ways. We've got campaigns coming up with regards to making money for helping us at the PHA do this, continue collaborating, but also at community level. So if you've got a community group that needs funding, we'd love to help you. We don't have the funds right now, but ultimately that's what we want to do. If you're a community group and we can't help you, then can you help yourself? So we'll be giving you ideas. There's also ideas on the website. We're hoping this summer to launch a few ideas like fitness challenges that you can do, children versus adults. Obviously the adults will win. How about a plank challenge? How about squat jumps? You name it, we can try it. I'm going through this really quickly. We obviously need PHA and all our partners and affiliates to be household names. So we can't do that without having a social media team, which Saz talked about earlier. And to do that, we need money. It's not sexy or doesn't quite sound like grassroots, but without it, we can't get our message across, and that's what we want. And even if we do it at grassroots community level, we need leaflets, boots on the ground. We'll still need a little bit of funding for both us and communities. If you haven't got money or you don't want to donate money, but you've got time, even better. We really, really, really need some volunteers to give us a hand. Are you a laughter therapist? Do you want to just come on and give us a laugh? That's great too. However you can help, please just help us.
That's our next modality Monday.
Yes, it is. It is. That's where I got the idea from. The team. We're a team. We'd love to have you join us. And thank you so much to everybody this evening. This is the last you'll hear from me. Good night and thank you.
And this is the last slide you'll see. And that's where you can find us. Contact us, visit the roadmap, and 2025 is going to be our year, and we can make a difference when we do it together. So thank you very much. It's absolutely wonderful to have seen everybody here tonight. Thank you to those that made it to the final, the winning post or whatever we call it, and broke through that marathon. It's amazing. And we look forward to seeing you all at the next public update. We're probably going to do these biannually, and unless something fabulous that we can't sit on happens, but we'd hope to see you coming into the group and being involved in it. So if you're not already, I know there's a lot of people already involved here. I'll stop waffling. We're all tired. Alexia, you're starting your day, aren't you? Have a good one. And look out in your emails for the follow-up. You'll receive a survey, an opportunity to ask questions, and also contacts for everybody that's been here tonight speaking and inspiring us. Thank you once again, and we'll see you all again soon.